From the historic Victorian port city of Manistee, Michigan, welcome to the 26th annual Victorian Sleighbell Parade. Tonight, take a few steps back in time with one of Michigan's most unique holiday celebrations. Principal funding for tonight's telecast comes from the Little River Casino and Resort at US 31 and M22 in Manistee. Little River, big fun. And from residents of Harbor Village on the Lake Michigan shore in Manistee, who support a vibrant and growing downtown Manistee. And now, here are your hosts for our telecast, Dave Mix and Tony Trucks.
Welcome to the 26th annual Sleighbell Parade here in beautiful downtown Manistee. I'm Dave Mix, and I am absolutely delighted to be here tonight with a star of stage, screen, and television, Tony Trucks.
Thank you so much.
I am so glad to have you here.
I am so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to be home.
You're home. This is not a strange situation for you. You're very familiar with this parade, aren't you?
I'm very familiar. I grew up in Manistee, Michigan, and I'm so happy to be able to share the wonderful Victorian Sleighbell Parade with the rest of the world.
Isn't it great? And we're probably close 8 to 10,000 people here. And speaking of home,
yes,
your very first stage experience actually started just up the street from us didn't it?
It did at the beautiful historic Ramsdale Theater just up the street here. I can probably see it just off your shoulder. The theater was built in 1902. It's a glorious Victorian playhouse, and I did my first play there, Sweet Charity, when I think I was 8 or 7.
Oh, wow. Well, and you're following in the footsteps of another great movie star who has gone on to some pretty incredible stuff.
I should be so lucky. I am, with bloody fingernails, chasing the dreams of James Earl Jones here.
And his very first role was up at the Ramsdale, wasn't it?
Well, many of his very first roles, but absolutely his first showing of Othello was there.
Wow,
yes.
Isn't that incredible? Well, a lot of people who are watching the telecast may know who you are, they know a little about your background, but there's probably a whole lot of people out there who don't really know who Tony Trucks is. And I said star of stage, screen, and television. Stage, you've had in the past year, you've had an exceptional stage.
Thank you.
You've done a lot of stage shows. You've done West Side Story.
Yes.
You've done one of my favorite shows, Ragtime, which is an incredible
Ragtime.
show. And this past year, you had a wonderful opportunity down in Atlanta.
I did. I went to the wonderful Alliance Theater, which is a Tony Award-winning regional theater, and I did a play called By the Way, Meet Vera Stark, which is written by a Pulitzer Prize winner, Lynn Nottage, and it tells the life of a young black actress from the 20s all the way through the 70s, and really, really epic role to play. I was very fortunate to be able to be a part of it.
That's super. So, stage and screen. I mean, you've been on the screen in Dreamgirls, music and lyrics, Ruby Sparks, which is a great film.
Thank you.
And a couple of years ago, you did what has been an incredibly popular couple of films, The Twilight Saga, Breaking Bad Part 2, and recently, last month, you had another film that you're in just premiere.
Yes.
In fact, it premiered down at the Vogue.
It's so nice to be able to have movies that you're in show in your hometown. It's all very exciting, but I was able to be a part of a wonderful cast for the book-turned-movie Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, which is a popular children's book. Long title, but completely worth it. And that starred Steve Carell, Jennifer Garner, and was directed by Miguel Arteta.
How neat. And television. You've had so many roles in House and CSI, and just recently I caught you in a role on, we were talking about it last night, in Grimm, which was so much fun. And this past year you also were one of the very principal stars in a series that was on TNT.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to be a part of a series regular in the cast of Franklin and Bash, which stars Breckin Meyer and Mark Paul Gosselaar. And it was a wonderful cast. And I just finished an episode of The Mentalist.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. You got so many things. So we're looking forward to seeing you more on stage, screen, and television.
Absolutely, across the board.
Yes.
Making this tiny town proud.
Well, and tonight, here we are in Manistee because we're going to be seeing what is really a unique parade.
Absolutely.
Sleighbell weekend, Old Victorian weekend in Manistee is absolutely incredible. And there are so many things going on. This is a step back in time, truly.
Yes.
But we're seeing the parade tonight, but the parade is only one part of all of the activities that take place this weekend. And a little before we went on the air, Tony had an opportunity of talking with a couple of the people who have been instrumental in
Yes.
all of the activities that go on.
Rachel
So let-
Estabrook and Joanne Cleaver.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Let's-
ladies.
Let's take a look at that interview.
Hello everyone, we're here in beautiful downtown Manistee, Michigan for the Victorian Sleighbell Parade. I'm here with Rachel Estabrook and also Joanne Cleaver to talk a little bit about the weekend. So as you know, right here, we're here ready for the Victorian Sleighbell Parade, but there are so many other wonderful events that happen over Old Christmas weekend. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the events that'll happen over the course of the weekend?
Sure, the weekend actually starts on Thursday with Festival of Trees at the Ramsdale Theater. And then Friday evening, there's 18 businesses that participate in the soup cook-off. And we had a great turnout last night. And after the soup cook-off, there is awards and live entertainment down at the Bluefish, which is downtown Manistee. We also on Saturday have guided tours of the historic homes of the Buckley and Babcock houses. Which are beautiful houses downtown here, Manistee, and then we also on Sunday have many more events.
That's so wonderful. Can you talk about some of the events that'll happen for the whole family?
You know, St. Nick was only a saint until the Victorians got hold of him. They jazzed up that old guy into the Santa Claus that we know today. You can see him arrive in style at our local marina right downtown, and then the kids can tell Santa what they want. If they want something homemade, you can go over to the high school at the craft fair with over 300 vendors. You can carry on the Victorian tradition of buying a handcrafted gift, maybe get some inspiration for things you want to buy in future seasons. It's wonderful for stuffing those stockings.
It is. It's so great. Now, it's a little late for some of the families this year, but if in future for next year, how would people know about the Old Town Christmas weekend and learn more about the events?
You can learn more about the event by visiting the website visitmanistee.com.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. And the event always happens the first weekend in December. Is that correct?
The first full weekend of December.
All right. So mark your calendars, everyone, and visit manistee.com, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It makes you, when you think about all of the things that are going on, all of the reasons that people would want to plan to come to Manistee this weekend. But it makes you ask a little about the history of the parade.
Yes. Well, rumor has it, and I can speak a little bit to this from experience, is that the very first Victorian Sleighbell Parade was not as organized as what you're seeing here today. It was actually very unorganized. It ended up with just a few sort of fellows wandering down the street saying we're doing a parade. And but luckily, you know, people loved it enough, and the Sleighbell Parade was eventually born. The records of the first organized showing of the parade was in 1989, and it was started by Jerry Smith and the late Amanda Pinkerton. Originally, the parade was scheduled for the first Friday in December, but ultimately it was changed to the current schedule, which is the first Saturday in December of every year. And that's probably so that more families could participate and you didn't have to come right after work. Another interesting fact about the parade is that in the early days, to reflect the Victorian heritage, the parade organizers would hold workshops for how to dress Victorian.
Wow.
They even sold Victorian clothes. And the Vogue Theater right behind us here, they would show screenings of Meet Me in St. Louis to better educate people on how to dress, how to walk, how to hold themselves for the Victorian era. So there's some really good ideas there maybe we could implement for the next years to come.
Absolutely. I think that that's wonderful. Well, we see the Vogue Theater just down, and you mentioned the Vogue Theater.
Yes.
All this weekend at the Vogue Theater, they're showing classic old Christmas movies at no charge for the people who are here for the weekend.
So nice.
Isn't that great, though?
Absolutely, especially when you consider what a labor of love revitalizing the Vogue Theater was. I think that it's so wonderful that they're still giving back.
I know, and the theater this weekend is celebrating its first year of being open. Just last night, they sold their 50,000th ticket for
yesterday.
people here. Isn't that incredible?
It's awesome.
And this weekend they're showing, and these are free films for anyone who's here this weekend, they're showing White Christmas, The Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, and Chris Van Allsburg from Grand Rapids. They're showing the Polar Express.
I know that's
which
one of
is
your
a
favorites,
wonderful-
Dave.
I love that film. I love that film. Well, you know, we're talking about all the great things that are happening here this weekend, but the fact of the matter is there are all sorts of things that happen throughout the year here in Manistee.
yes.
And there are a lot of exciting things that happen during the summertime when it's a little warmer than it is right now. One of those is the Forest Festival that happens July 4th weekend, and that is truly a family event. A lot of the activities take place over on the lakefront, and at that time, Main Street here, 4th of July, is packed with people who are here to enjoy the summer.
Yes, there's a fair that happens right down by the beach, which is so fun.
Exactly.
There's live concerts, different people that perform down at the pavilion. There's also Roots on the River, which happens every week. There are live concerts that happen right along the river at the gazebo. You know, I feel like Manistee throughout the year is just bubbling over with events and good cheer and that like really sort of down-home Americana, you know, perfect
kind of
you
thing
know,
that people want to come
yeah,
to.
if you need it bottled and sold, we've got it here for you.
Absolutely. One of the other things that takes place just down the street from where we are right here is Hops and Props.
Oh, yes.
That takes place in September, and Hops and Props has become a really central point for people who want to check out all of the microbreweries from around the state. This year, they had 30 microbreweries that were here.
How many?
30.
Wow.
It was incredible. And one of the other things that takes place in May is the Tight Lines for Troops. And that is an absolutely extraordinary event where all of the charter fishermen here in Manistee make their boats available to veterans of all wars. And this past year they had something like 200 vets who were here
Isn't
that
that
went out on the
incredible?
boats. They go out fishing for the
We
day.
also have the Venetian Boat Parade, which
That's
is
right.
always so beautiful. All the people that have their boats in the harbor will decorate them with lights, and it's really sort of a magical time to be down. You know, if those of you haven't visited Manistee, we have 2 beautiful drawbridges here, and it always
That's
makes
right.
it so magical when any larger freight boats come through and traffic stops, but, you know, it's worth it.
One went through earlier today, and I said, gee whiz, if it was right around our showtime, we could catch it on the
Catch
air.
it on the air.
Well, there are so many great things that go on in Manistee, and so take a look at the calendar and plan a visit sometime, any time of the year,
Yes.
and come and enjoy. And we're talking about the parade. This is a unique parade because we're not going to see balloons.
No.
We're not going to see big floats.
No motorized vehicles.
No motorized vehicle in this parade. It really is a step back in time, and it kind of goes back in history not only of Manistee but also of Michigan in general. One of the wagons I discovered when we were talking about what was going to be in the parade. One of the wagons in the parade is 178 years old.
Yes.
Can you believe that?
It is, and I want to tell you this before we get too far, because I don't think we're going to have a chance to tell the whole story during the parade.
Yeah.
So one of the units in the parade is part of the East Lake Fire and Rescue Team, and they were organized in 1881
Wow.
over in the town of East Lake, which is our neighboring community. And they are one of the oldest continuing fire departments in the state of Michigan. And, well, in the early 1900s, the department acquired its very first piece of firefighting real equipment, and it was a fire cart. And the cart it held 40 gallons. It was a 40-gallon water tank, and 2 men had to push it, and 2 men had to pull it simultaneously to get it to go anywhere. And when they had a fire, they had to pour a gallon of sulfuric acid into the lead water tank, along with 5 pounds of soda water. And when this happened, it turned the tank into, with the soda and acid mixture, it resulted in immediate pressurized fire tank. And so the water would shoot out, but you couldn't try to stop it or start it, otherwise the entire thing would blow up. So for years, the cart was kept in its very own shed, and it was kept warm by kerosene lamps so that the water wouldn't freeze in the winter. And now here's the amazing thing. They kept using this exact fire cart up until 1952.
Oh my gosh.
And then it was replaced with a used fire truck from 1939. So hopefully they're
and we're
working
going to
with
see that
better
in the
things.
parade tonight.
It's going to be in the parade tonight,
That'll
so we're going to
that'll
keep a
be great.
lookout for the soda ash cart.
That is Well, we're looking forward to that. And we'll talk about another really interesting piece of history a little later about one of the other wagons that are in the parade. It's just extraordinary. Well, there are so many great things happening here on Main Street, River Street, and Manistee, throughout the whole area. And before we climbed up here on our perch to bring you the parade,
Yes.
You had an opportunity of talking with someone who told you a little about what's coming up in Manistee. Let's take a look at that.
Yes,
at that
Patrick Kay.
interview.
Hello, everyone. I'm standing here with Patrick Kay, who's going to give us even more wonderful insight about our Old Town Christmas weekend. Patrick, I come back as often as I can to my hometown, and I love it so much, and I just keep seeing so many new things that are happening in Manistee. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the things that have happened here on River Street in the past year?
Sure. We've had about 8 new businesses that have opened up in the downtown in the last year. We get calls on a regular basis for people who are looking to open up a new business, buy an old building and revitalize it. So this is a really exciting time to kind of be a part of Manistee and kind of see all the neat things that are happening in the development down here.
Is there anything that we can look forward to happening in Manistee in the coming year?
Yeah, we've got one new restaurant is the famous Flynn's. It was in the old Fast Eddie's location. It'll be a new brick oven pizza place, kind of an Italian restaurant. Just right across the river here, we've got the River Park Place, as well as North Channel Outlets. They'll be developing about 32 new units that'll be starting next year. And then we've got another location, the former Bookmark building. We've got a couple out of Texas that have come into town, and they're looking to put in a music recording studio as well as a lounge downtown.
That's going to be excellent. And what do you think? Why do you think businesses are drawn to Manistee?
Well, you know, there's a couple that have just recently come into town. They're from down in Ann Arbor, and they came up the coast and went both to Ludington and Pentwater and several other places, and said they really just fell in love with Manistee. Didn't feel like any of the other places that they found really kind of met the charm that they were looking for. And just,
our charm factor is very high here.
It is a very high charm factor. But they've really kind of fell in love with the place, and a lot of people, it's been one of these things where they've come into town, they fall in love with the community, and then they figure out, what am I going to do to make money? And so that was one of the reasons, like the bakery that came into town, the Daily Bakehouse. They came into town, fell in love with the place, and said, we've got to open on something. Bakery sounds like a great location, and they've done extremely well with that place.
They have. Now, if I'm a new business owner or looking to start a business in Manistee, who can I talk to? Where can I find out how to do that, to check out Manistee?
Sure, you can contact me. You can go to our website. It's visitmanistee.com. On there, you'll have a contact number for myself, 231-398-3262. You can also send me an email on there, but we've got opportunities for new loans, new business incentives, as well as what available properties are available downtown.
So you're encouraging people to get in contact and let's do this.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Right, that's visitmanistee.com, and get an idea and call us up. Let's do it.
The dog sled team that's going to come racing down the street. So we're going to be kind of watching as we look down the street to see when the police will slowly move people back to the curb. So pardon us if we're kind of going on some vent here and all of a sudden we interrupt.
Well, didn't we hear earlier that no one's ever actually caught a picture of the dog sled team?
That's what I heard. So this is going to be good that we actually get them on television.
They're fast.
Well, we talk about Manistee being a Victorian city. And back in 1871, a great part of the city was destroyed by what probably were cinders that flew over Lake Michigan from the Chicago fire, because
it
that happened the same day. Yeah. And but today, because a lot of the buildings were still preserved, Downtown Business District is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the entire downtown area.
That's incredible. And Dave, the last century and a half, Manistee's been known for a lot of different things. Clothes manufacturing, including arrow shirts, watchmaking. Manistee had one of the most significant tower clock manufacturing companies in the country. So a lot of Manistee clocks were all over the world. But during the last part of the 19th century, during the Victorian era that we're celebrating today, Manistee was especially known for its lumbering and logging industry.
Absolutely. In fact, in the 19th century, Manistee had 30 different mills that were producing shingles here in Manistee. And Manistee produced more shingles during that period of time than any other place in the world. So it's pretty interesting.
And also during that same time, during the lumber boom of the 1880s, there were more millionaires per capita in Manistee than anywhere else in the entire United States, which you can see in the homes that are left over here today, can't you?
Absolutely. And when the people built the homes, there were also some great things that took place with the buildings. And we've got a video that we're going to show you on the Ramsdell Inn, which is right behind us here.
Beautiful building.
In July of 1891, the Ramsdell building was under construction at a cost of between $30,000 to $40,000. The building was designed by East Saginaw architect Fred Hollister, but it was built and named after the prominent Manistee attorney and philanthropist Thomas Jefferson T.J. Ramsdell. The Ramsdell has 4 floors total. The bottom 2 were built using granite, while the top 2 were constructed with brick. On the 2nd floor, bank vaults 2 feet thick were installed and considered the most fire and burglar proof in that era. Manistee County Savings Bank leased that portion of the Ramsdell for 10 years, which came as a surprise to TJ, who was the president of the First National Bank across the street. Frederick W. Ramsdell, TJ's son, was a world-renowned artist and painted the mural located in the 2nd floor. The depiction is symbolic of the cultural and industrial state of the area in that day. The upper floors were originally occupied by the law offices of T.J. Ramsdell, E.E. Benedict, and George L. Hilliker, but are now used as a boutique hotel. The downstairs housed and functioned as the city drugstore until 1975, and is now known as T.J.'s Pub. For more information on this or other Manistee historic sites, go to visitmanisteecounty.com or download the Manistee County app.
The Ramsdell Inn is an absolutely incredible building,
gorgeous.
isn't it though? And as they were showing in the piece, the upstairs rooms in the Ramsdell have been renovated and are absolutely
The corner
wonderful.
rooms especially are so beautiful, that
And
architecture.
TJ's isn't a bad place to come and
TJ's
have,
is great, have dinner there.
something to warm up by, you know?
Yep.
I think that if we look down the street, we may see that they're starting to clear the street, which would be an indication that the
dogs are
team
coming.
is going to be coming down the street.
They have to clear the street so that no one gets hurt, because these are like the Flash, these dogs.
And they have 10 dogs, I think, don't they?
Yes. Yep. I believe so. Where is that? Not sure how many dogs there are. Yeah, there's a dog sled team. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's going to be a beautiful woman driver that is manning all of these wonderful dogs. Her name is Michelle Seeley, and she's from right here in Manistee County, so that's wonderful to celebrate one of our fabulous women in the community. Oh, here they come! That's wonderful.
And they're not pulling a sled, they're pulling a ATV. How about that?
They're really going to make liars out of us
I
tonight,
know.
aren't they? Look at that.
I know.
They're fantastic. Look at that. Do you think that we could name them all of the reindeer names?
I think they hit the brake somewhere along the line. Hey,
Oh,
they
here
come.
they come. Oh,
There they
wow.
go.
Look at that. Fantastic. Fantastic. They are very
Oh,
exciting.
that is cool.
That's very cool. Well, you know, this is the big signal for the parade to begin. So
I think that this is a good indication that the parade is on its way.
it's officially started.
And we were talking about all of the different things. One of the first groups that we're going to see is the Keystone Cops that are going to
They're
be
my
coming
favorite
down.
group.
There you go. Well, they're your favorite because your dad is involved with it, right?
One of the handsome gentlemen that will be walking by will be my father, dressed as a old-timey Keystone Cop. And I asked him what he did in the town, and he said he mostly goes around arresting overaged drinkers.
This is the first time we've done this, and the funding for tonight's telecast was incredibly important. One of the organizations here in town that stepped forward to help underwrite the cost of the telecast and the principal cost of the telecast was Little River Resort and Casino here in Manistee. And although he unfortunately couldn't be with us because he's out of town this weekend, Little River's general manager Wendell Long wanted to share a brief holiday message.
The Little River Casino Resort, an enterprise of the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians, and our 800 employees are very pleased to sponsor this year's Victorian Sleighbell Parade. And on behalf of all of us, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and hope you can come visit us on the corner of US 31 and M22, where Little River means big holiday fun.
What do we have here?
These
These are Keystone Cops.
These are our beautiful Keystone Cops, and the Keystone Cops are an outgrowth of the support of the Manistee Kiwanis Club that have helped to pitch in and support the Sleighbell Parade. They lead the parade each year. They carry a banner. They help with crowd control. And, you know, their role really is also just crowd engagement, and they move along the streets, they take a lot of pictures. As I said, my father likes to arrest the overage drinkers. There he is on your screen on the left there, looking dapper as always. So the Keystone Cops are just wonderful. Everyone really looks forward to seeing them, and lots of people that even aren't a part of Kiwanis will oftentimes volunteer to be a Keystone Cop.
I can well imagine, and frankly, it looks like they probably have a wonderful time just interacting with the crowd.
Well, those billy clubs are
yeah,
a little
exactly.
intimidating, so I'd watch yourself.
That's great.
But I love them. They're definitely a throwback to the silent movie era, right?
Exactly. And that's what's so wonderful is I'm just looking at that front line of Keystone Cops coming down. Do I see someone in there that I recognize? Did I see someone by some...
My father?
I think so. I think so.
Oh yes, you're going to see my handsome father there hugging the left side of your screen when they get a close-up. He's bearded and wonderful and handsome. He looks sort of like Father Christmas himself.
And having a wonderful time.
Always having a wonderful time. You should know that the secret of my dad tonight is he is armed with both electric socks and electric gloves.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. If they get a close-up, I'll holler. Yep. Well, there's some good Kiwanians right there.
I think he's on the other side of that row of Keystone Cops.
Camera shy. There he is at the end.
We just... You could tell he's walking along like he has warm feet.
You can tell he's got a little extra zap in his step.
He's shaking hands, so
yeah,
that's a warm-footed person.
He has pep in his step. I don't know if electric socks are Victorian or not, but
I'm not sure.
We'll give him a pass.
Yeah, right.
Can we give him a pass?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I hear in the distance of the Keystone Cops are bagpipers.
Bagpipers, absolutely.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, they are being led tonight by Stephen McNeil. And with a name like McNeil,
I
seems
think
like
he should be playing the bagpipes,
I would think so, too. There's my beautiful father. Oh, yes.
And here they come.
Let's take a listen. Oh, look at this. There is Queen Victoria herself.
Oh, well, look who turned up. It's in a Victorian parade, Queen Victoria herself. And, considering the Queen reigned from 1837 to 1901, she seems to be holding up pretty well, as a matter of fact. That's what happens when you have a whole era named after you, right?
I think so. In the case tonight, our queen may actually be Joanne Cleaver from here in Manistee, but I could be wrong. Either way, she's looking fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we've got our newly crowned Miss Teen of Manistee, Michigan, Miss Teen Michigan, Fallon Gates. Fallon is 16-year-old junior right here from Manistee, and she is Miss Teen Michigan, the very first pageant she ever entered and won. The contestants were judged on personality, interview skills, and also 2 modeling routines.
And she's going on to compete in Orlando shortly. And here we have...
Oh, yes, we've got the mayor of Manistee, Colleen Kenny, and riding with her this year in the parade is our Grand Marshal, Jim Poliski. Jim has been employed by the Department of Public Works in Manistee for over 30 years, I've heard, and every year he has taken such special care of all the things that go into the making of the Sleighbell Parade. So when the committee started talking about who should be the Grand Marshal, everybody sort of jumped at the chance for it to be Jim for all of his wonderful years of 26 years worth of loving this parade and supporting the community.
Wow.
And he's going to be lighting our tree this year, I think, lighting the wonderful Christmas tree at the end. So thank you, Jim, for all your hard work.
Excellent. And this is the wagon I was telling you about that's over 100 years
Wow,
old.
look at
was
that
bought
beauty.
in 1863 by the family.
That is gorgeous. Can you imagine that wagon going all that way? That is a wonderful story.
And right behind them, I
Yes.
think we have the, if I'm not mistaken, don't we have the scoopers?
No, I think you know what we have next here. We've got some horses that are all saddled up.
Gotcha.
We've got some beautiful, this is the Crossfire 4-H group of Ludington. And it's a good looking group that we have here. They're led by Janice Jordan and Patty Loft. And every one of the group loves to ride, and they are outstanding horsemen, as you can see even from here. Their wagon is owned by Charlie and Patty Loft, and they're being pulled by a beautiful team of Percherons.
Yeah.
Wow, my God.
Fantastic.
Look at they're just gorgeous horses.
Beautiful horses.
That's a great shot. I still can't get over that story about the wagon that you told. That wagon looks like it's in pristine condition.
I know.
And when
Isn't
you
that
consider
incredible?
how far it's come. Look at got some beautiful horsemen here riding by. I wonder if the horse get as excited as we do.
I don't know. they look like they have excitement on their faces. Don't
Yes,
though?
they do. Oh, there goes Ron. Wonderful.
Ah,
Beautiful. Wow, that's a wonderful group. And they're coming very
there
quickly.
goes
There
our-
are scoopers.
Our scoopers kind of slid by here,
They
didn't
slid
they?
by. Well,
Yeah.
they like to go unnoticed. They're an extremely helpful group of kids. They're North Woods 4-H Club, and they should really be called the Trooper Scoopers because they're they're troopers for helping out in this way.
They should be. And here comes the City of Manistee Children's Chorus under the direction of Joy Smith.
Joy Smith, a wonderful, wonderful choral director. She's currently directing 36 children in the chorus. They all range in age from 7 to 18. And she's a wonderful choir director.
Oh, wow. And it looks like we have a lot of girls who are headed off to bed in their Victorian pajamas.
Yes, these are the Girl Scouts here from Manistee County. We have girls representing Manistee Senior Troop 10148, Manistee Troop 3764, and that's made up of Brownies, Juniors, and Cadets, and also the Onekama Brownie Troop 4644. The Girl Scouts have been helping young ladies develop their leadership abilities, decision-making skills, and gain self-confidence since 1912. And I will tell you, Dave, I was a Girl Scout here in Manistee for 7 years. I was in Troop 154 right here in Manistee, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
So I thank the Girl Scouts. Many years of selling cookies and getting confident.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Look at-
And
Do you have a favorite Girl Scout cookie, Dave?
well,
Thin Mint Samoa?
yeah, I know. Were you a real good seller of cookies?
Yes, yes. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness, we're already at our wonderful, beautiful Lakeside Club is upon us. This is the oldest club here in Manistee, originally formed 125 years ago. They were founded to fund the city's Carnegie Library that still stands today and continues to raise funds for activities right here in town. Their main fundraising project each year is to organize the summer home tour during the Forest Festival.
I hate to interrupt you, but
No, it's okay.
we have an elf on stilts. He's stilt walking was very popular.
Oh, there he is.
During the Victorian era.
Wow.
Look at that. He's picked up one of the kids and he's carrying him around.
Oh, I hope
Very
we can get a
cool.
shot of that elf. He is incredible. This is Neil, right? Neil Stauder. And look at this. Everything's happening so fast. We've got the
I know.
Manistee High School Marching Band is right here, directed by Cindy Swan Egan. The band has a remarkable record of recognition. Since 1982, the band has nearly had a perfect record for first division ratings at both district and state evaluations. And they've been invited to guest band at the Michigan's Music Conference 6 times and have had guest performances at both Western and Central Michigan University. So they're just incredible. And Cindy Swan Egan was also my band director.
Wow. Let's listen to them as they come along.
That sounds great.
Here comes your soda ash cart.
Oh, here comes the soda ash cart. Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier. I can't believe it's lived this long, but it has arrived.
Let's hope it doesn't explode tonight, okay?
Let's just try not to jostle
No,
it. Everyone
absolutely.
just leave it alone.
How unique. Over 100 years old.
Now, didn't you say that the band usually has a color guard, but they're trying to stick with the era and not do anything that's out of the time period, right?
Absolutely.
Look at that cart. Looks like it is in beautiful shape. Trinity Lutheran School.
Trinity Lutheran School coming here.
Look at, they're dressed like wonderful angels.
And this, speaking of firemen, here comes a Victorian fireman and his wife out for a walk with their faithful Dalmatian Blaze. And Blaze is actually accompanied by his owners, Fred and Sue Laporte. And Fred really is an engineer and a paramedic with the City of Manistee Fire Department. Oh, Fred.
That is incredible, yes. He's been there for 35 years, and this is his 25th time that they've appeared in the Sleighbell Parade. They missed just one due to a surgery that Fred had, but Sue is dressed very typically in her period dress of Victorian times, and of course the lantern will help them guide their path down this Victorian street. Look at, we've got some
here's a rough and tumble group representing the laborers who actually tamed this area back in the 1800s. The lumberjacks, the cooks, the dock workers, all those folks who put in a hard day's work every single day. And they tell us that they're going to be singing carols as they move down the street, as well as lumberjack songs. Now, I'm not sure what lumberjack songs are, but my guess is we're not going to hear anything from Frozen from this group.
I don't think so.
I just don't think so.
I'd like to learn a lumberjack song.
A lumberjack song.
Yes. They're looking good. And this is a group after my own heart. Here's a group that has participated in every single one of the 26 Victorian Sleighbell parades. This is the students from Kennedy Elementary School. All of the kids will be dressed in their Victorian style attire, and they're the school's 4th through 6th grade classes. In 26 years, you can imagine how many Kennedy school students have participated in this Sleighbell parade. I know that I did, and I look forward to it every year.
Wow. Well, there's 380 students in the school, so you got to believe that it has been thousands of you all who participated in this parade.
It's a memorable evening. I remember dressing up like that. Everyone's trying to just crowd together and stay warm, really, but it's a good-looking group.
And it's got to be really exciting. You were probably excited when you were in the parade.
Oh, so excited. You know me, I love being in front of a crowd. And look at here, we have the Tittabawassee Valley Fire and Drum Corps. These members are all wearing uniforms that are replicas of the ones worn by the Continental Marines between roughly 1778 and 1781. This unit eventually evolved into the United States Marine Corps. And the flag bearers are carrying some of the most famous flags of the American Revolution. That's incredible that they were able to replicate those costumes from that time.
That is great.
Oh, and they've got some beautiful drumming happening.
And these folks are so important every year during the Victorian weekend here in Manistee. They're the ambassadors, and they're not only dressed in period clothes, these are the folks who are literally walking information booths for the visitors and the local residents. And when you come next year, and you've got a plan to come next year, you got to give them a try and ask them where the nearest chestnuts are roasting, because they'll know.
They will find
they're ambassadors.
Yes, they definitely need to know. It's always so fun. Growing up, I always looked forward to seeing who was going to be our victor in Victoria and having that wonderful experience.
And they do have chestnuts roasting all up and down the street, too, don't they?
Oh, here's a wonderful girl giving out candy. Oh, candy canes, the kids, that's the favorite part, isn't it? That's exciting. This is who you're seeing on the screen there handing out that candy. That is Miss Luddington area for 2015, looking beautiful and regal in her Victorian outfit, giving sweets to the children. coming behind her, great shot of Kimberly Reich, a Victorian horseback rider. There she is. Look at that hat.
Beautiful horses in the parade.
Beautiful. We should get them all lined up. We really need to do a Sleighbell Parade weekend calendar, don't you think?
I know, yes. Well, actually, they do have balloting for the best entry in the parade, which takes place well after the parade is over. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to cover who actually won. But
next year, we'll have people send in their votes to the internets.
Right. And here's another group that's been in every Sleighbell Parade since the beginning. This is Caldwell Banker, ALM, Realty and Associates. And in case you were wondering what ALM stands for, it stands for Along Lake Michigan.
I did not know that.
Of course.
And I've been in this community my whole life. I'm ashamed. You taught me something.
And another gorgeous carriage.
Here they are. This is Katniss, isn't it? This is Katniss and Henry.
Coming.
Is that Katniss and Henry?
Oh,
Beautiful horses.
I
believe so. What just passed us that was Katniss and Henry.
Katniss is kind of going by on the side of our picture.
Yes, gorgeous horses.
And her horse Henry, she was nicknamed the Russian Princess last year because of her costume.
Horses. Yes.
And here we've got West Shore Bank, and with their horse-drawn buggy.
Yes, this business goes all the way back to the 1800s. West Shore Bank may not look that old, but the bank was founded back in 1898 and has continued to serve West Shore area ever since. And they continue to be an independent, community-oriented bank, which is to be celebrated in these smaller communities. Here we have the Spirit of the Woods Garden Club. Yes.
Spirit of the Woods Garden Club?
Yep,
with their dancing trees?
They're dancing Christmas trees here. The dancing Christmas trees. The garden club's purpose is to seek out and preserve and protect the beauty of nature, and they do such a good job. You can always support them with pennies for pine, which refurnish our forest.
And here we have West Shore Medical Center.
Yes, here's a business that goes way back to the 1800s as well. West Shore Bank... West Shore Medical Bank doesn't...
Medical Center?
Yes. Oh, the Medical Center, yes. Oh, yes, they're straight out of the 1900s, excuse me. They're members of the staff of the Manistee West Shore Medical Center. And despite their dress, all of their facilities are very up-to-date, very modern. Their staff has nearly... numbers 400 and is proud to be a part of this year's awards and recognition they've received from the American Hospital Association.
Right. And under the combined direction of Brenna Richardson, here comes the Manistee Catholic High School and Brethren High School marching bands. And since Brenna teaches band at both schools, they decided to march and play together this year's parade. It's great to see the bands performing together, and this year they're playing a Christmas medley of traditional carols. Let's listen to them as they come along.
Perfect.
Well, this has been a big year for this group, too.
Yeah,
they
huge.
represent Manistee Catholic Central, and the school is celebrating 50 years of Catholic education this year. And this summer, there was a reunion for all past graduates. It really was a great chance for everyone to get together and relive a whole lot of memories.
Yes, and tonight we have students from the junior and senior highs, the Manistee Catholic Central Washington group, and others celebrating their first 50 years.
Well, these are lumberjacks that seem to have taken quite a historical leap from the late 19th century. This is the Shoreline Cycling Club, and all the members are from Manistee and Mason County areas.
Yes, they're riding what we call fat bikes, those bikes that have 4 or 5 inch tires, so they can literally ride throughout the year. They can ride in sand in the summer or snow in the winter, and they're doing just that.
Wow. And the club gets together just to have fun riding, and they're also extremely involved in the educational initiatives with local elected officials and decision makers on riding matters. And with new riders, they spend a lot of time talking about safety and good biking practices. So
They look like they're having a great time. I
think
kind of
they're
want to
having
join
a
this
wonderful
club.
time.
I think the children like them. They're throwing out
Those
candy.
are fascinating bikes, aren't they, though?
Yes. Wow.
I think they're delivering Christmas trees.
I think they are too. They often, in these parades, in the Sleighbell, Victorian Sleighbell Parade, or during the Forest Festival Parade in Manistee, they'll often give out trees instead of candy, which I always think is really neat. I know several people that still have trees growing in their yards from times when they've gotten trees at one of the local parades.
Oh, wow. And I think that somewhere along the line, we still have some.
Music, a band coming?
Yeah,
I think so too. That's Cindy Swanegan. You have to watch her because she normally goes through the parade twice. She'll go through with one band and then she'll zoom back to the start and do the other band.
Right.
So she's quick and she doesn't let anybody conduct without her.
This is an interesting group. This is Century 21 Boardwalk Real Estate Office here in Manistee, and they are playing the bells. And I was having a conversation with one of the members of this group who was telling me I made a reference, and she said, no, they really do call us the Dingalings.
It's probably the only time where that is endearing.
Yeah.
They take pride in it. They should really have T-shirts made, don't you think?
Yeah. And I see a horse and a wagon coming behind.
Oh, you know what that means. Well, the Dingalings look great. Well, they are looking really great. They're committed. I wonder how many rehearsals they have before they get started.
I don't know.
I can see off in the distance there the wheels of the carriage that is carrying the man that all of the children have been waiting desperately to see. I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Here he comes.
I think I see him.
You see him there? We need a drum roll at your homes. Get the kids out. I think he's probably fresh in from the North Pole, or maybe he just was dropped off by one of the Coast Guard boats up here in Manistee Lake. Either way, we are so excited.
Absolutely, and I understand that Santa is going to be greeting children again this year down at the City Marina just down River Street.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Opportunity for us all to run down there and see Santa.
Chris Kringle, get our orders in. Tell him how happy and thankful we are.
And right behind Santa, we see another team of really big horses coming.
Now, there's really nothing that can trump Santa in the Victorian Sleighbell Parade except for the last bit. The trolley on our train here is the giant, beautiful Christmas tree that is pulled by this last team of horses.
Absolutely, and isn't that gorgeous?
It is so beautiful, and if this is the first time you're seeing the parade on your television screens or live, the best part of the parade is when the entire community flocks behind the tree and follows it into the end of the street. It's really a magical part of the evening and what most people remember the most.
And
Here comes Santa. Let's get a good view of him. There he is.
Santa's riding in elegance this year.
He's looking great. Is that Mrs. Claus looking beautiful and pulling him along? It's quite a...
Having a wonderful time.
Santa needs some gloves. I'm impressed. He's
I
probably
know,
so
I
used
was-
to the snow
I
he
was
doesn't need
thinking
it.
the same thing.
Oh,
There
look
he
at him.
is.
No, he's pretty well adjusted to the winter. He doesn't look like he's phased at all. Yes, we're getting a good hand for the dingalings that just walked by. There goes Santa.
Santa's having a good time.
Oh, look at this.
And here
Gorgeous.
comes the tree. Actually, the Reed family from Bear Lake has handled moving the tree in the Sleighbell Parade for years. They're incredible draft horses.
Yes.
You really have to strain some years to move the trees when they're extremely large. But
I'm not sure if that's Larry Reed or Ben Reed that's driving the team, but each of them have handled them over the course of the years, and it is really a sight to behold.
isn't it though? And of course, the fact that the tree comes down the street upright, already mounted on a huge, huge sled, is just extraordinary.
It is.
And here it comes.
Wow. That's really something, Dave. Gorgeous. Look at those horses.
And after the tree passes by us here, it is going to go down River Street to the park down the street.
Yep.
And the tree lighting will take place, and there will be
Fireworks, which is always
Super.
so exciting. You know, the nice thing that they do here, we'll have a little time lapse, but we'll make sure all of the beautiful horses are taken care of and moved away from the area before the fireworks happen. So no horses will be harmed in the lighting of this tree.
Right.
For all you viewers at home, we make sure our animals are taken care of.
So again, when you're starting to plan for next year coming to Manistee to be part of all of these activities and the festivities, you have the opportunity of following the tree down the street, and we'll see in just a few minutes, we'll see the whole crowd of people. In fact, I think that might be what we're looking at right now. Is the
I think
people
so too.
Behind the tree.
You know, it's so wonderful, the people that are staying in the rooms of the Ramsdale Inn. The tree is as tall as the top room.
Isn't that amazing?
It
And
is so
what
incredible.
gorgeous horses. These draft horses are able to pull.
They're incredibly
so much.
strong animals.
Oh,
I mean, that is it.
and here they go.
Here they go.
Here goes the tree. Looks like that may be done driving.
Wow.
And here come the crowds behind the tree, heading down the street for the caroling and the tree lighting.
That's just the best part, when you see all of the people that are just following this sort of mass exodus to light the trees, see the fireworks. It's just such a wonderful, this is, you know, when the
And of course-
community is really all together.
And of course, the amazing thing is there's already a star on top of the tree that's lit.
So nobody has to climb up there? We don't have like one unlucky
I can
soul.
only imagine.
Oh gosh. Dave, we need to get down there. We need to grab some chestnuts and get down there.
I know. From here, the tree slowly keeps moving on down the street. And this will give you a little bit of an idea of all the people who are here in Manistee tonight for all of the activities, here in Manistee for all the weekend activities.
Yep.
There are so many things that are taking place here in Manistee. It's just extraordinary.
It
Just
is.
extraordinary.
It's a really exciting time to be here. I always tell people come during the Sleighbell Parade weekend, our old Christmas weekend, or come during the Forest Festival. You will never be disappointed when you visit
Absolutely.
Manistee.
Absolutely. Everybody having a good time.
I mean, look at all those joyful faces.
I know.
This is a direct indication of the energy that we're putting forth here in Manistee. What a glorious place to be from.
I know. It is.
It really
And
is.
and I'm sort of an adopted son.
We accept you, Dave.
I've sort of gotten involved with so many things here in
Yes,
Manistee.
you
It's
have.
so
You're
much
an
fun.
invaluable part of our community.
It's so much fun to be part of everything that's going on here. It's just great. Well, we're going to be right back with more fun and excitement from the 26th annual Sleighbell Parade here in Manistee. But first of all, there's always a good time to be had throughout town in the wintertime. Keep in mind that we're right here on the shores of Lake Michigan and just a minute or so away from some of the most fantastic beaches in the state. And so, just a quick reminder of summers in Manistee. Let's take a look at some of the activities from Manistee's Summer Forest Festival.
Manistee, Michigan welcomes you every summer. With the Manistee National Forest Festival. There's something for all ages during the 5 full days at the Manistee National Forest Festival. There's nothing quite like being near water in the summer. And Manistee has miles of sandy Lake Michigan beaches. Come see what we have to offer at the Manistee National Forest Festival. The Manistee National Forest Festival. Manistee is pure Michigan.
We've moved down to the park for the lighting of the tree and the fireworks display. Let's watch. What an incredible evening this has been. A wonderful parade, all sorts of exciting activities here at Sleighbell Weekend. Lighting to the Christmas tree behind us, an incredible fireworks display, all sorts of great activities, things that you'll want to plan to come to next year here in Manistee, the first weekend in December. We'll be right back with some closing comments, but first, we've got a special message for you.
Y'all. And I feel so good. Call me on the telephone, y'all.
Manistee is pure Michigan.
Well, Tony, again, what an absolutely incredible evening. This has been a fantastic Victorian Sleighbell parade from here in Manistee.
Absolutely.
It has been so fun being with you.
Thank you.
This has been a real trip into the past and a celebration of Manistee's Victorian traditions. We've had fantastic fireworks, the lighting of the Christmas tree, and it's been really great that we've been able to bring all of these activities to you tonight.
I hope that you'll all just sort of, mark your schedules for the first weekend in December for the next, 50 years to come, and come to Manistee and enjoy this really special time.
Absolutely. And we've got some people who we couldn't have done this without their help.
Absolutely.
And we want to express our appreciation to some of the people that you see on your screen right now, the businesses and individuals who have gone out of their way to help us make tonight a reality.
It's true. There's so many peoples and businesses that really made tonight possible. This telecast would not have happened without them, and we want to make sure that we take the time to extend our very, very special thanks to each of them. So the people that you're seeing on your screen, sincerely thank you.
So that's it for right now. And this is a good time to start to begin making plans for you and your family to come next year, the first weekend in December, to the Sleighbell Weekend and Old Victorian Weekend right here in Manistee. Bring your family, young, old. It's a step back in time that everyone will enjoy, and we'd welcome you. And until we see you next year, this is Dave Mix.
And this is Tony Trucks.
Wishing you a wondrous holiday season.
And a Happy New Year.